Hi guys, welcome to thrustzone.com. This is Mohit Soni. We have two huge SUVs with us today. This is the MG Gloster that is here to stay apparently, because every other competitor for the Toyota Fortuner, which is here in the Legender form, has gone away. The Mahindra Alturas, that's gone. The Ford Endeavour, that's gone. So these are the two SUVs that are standing right now. Unfortunately, we could not get the time earlier to pit them together, but nevertheless, the MG Gloster is here in a Black Storm avatar, and we had quite a lot of time with it, and we decided why not put it against the Toyota Fortuner Legender. There is a lot of similarity, surprisingly. Over the years, MG has shown what they are doing with the Gloster and what it has offered. At the same time, the Fortuner in the Legender form, then there is also the GRS form that is on sale in India today. These SUVs have couple of things in common, which is the price. The second thing is the ladder on frame chassis, and the third part is that big diesel engines with automatic and manual gearboxes. What are they like? Let's find out one by one by telling you what these SUVs are all about. I'm going to keep it brief as possible because you've already seen detailed videos and read reviews on our website for both of these cars. Let's begin with the MG Gloster. Quickly, you can see there is a big grille, a very nice European design for this SUV. This is a very big European SUV from the very past. We don't get these big SUVs anymore over there. Very nice big grille. This is the Black Storm edition. You get red accents in the headlamps, red accents there, and a huge MG logo. On the side is where it really captivates, with its design, with its length. You can see the height is very big. It's almost slightly above 5 liters in length, and you've got these big alloy wheels as well, which are blacked out. You've got that red accent on the mirror. The Brit Dynamic badge continues on the car. Let's go to the back and see that these very chunky tail lamps are also quite indeed very European to look at, and the rear also looks really nice, well done. The tailgate design, the bumper design, you've got a sort of a diffuser going on here as well in a big brawny ladder on frame chassis. Let's begin with the Fortuner now. You have these very sharp tail lamps. The Legender gets a very different bumper. On the side, everything remains the same, and got these chrome handles, large windows, large doors. Chrome is in good supply because that is what people look forward to in this segment. Coming to the front, this is what the Legender is known for. A very nice futuristic LED DRL setup with a very nice slightly shorter bumper in terms of overhangs over the regular Fortuner. I think this looks really nice. Looking it from far away in your rear view mirror, it actually looks quite nice. The alloy wheels, I'm definitely fond of the alloy wheels on the Legender here, and I just think that both these SUVs are really good. While the MG Gloster has this European cool look, the Toyota Fortuner is truly Japanese, curvy yet very big in size. There is a lot of style and substance in this as well. In terms of sheer presence, we know why the Gloster is doing well is only because of the size and the way it looks and the way it intimidates everybody on the road. The presence is fantastic. The Fortuner isn't far behind, but who thought that the Fortuner can be taken down in that aspect? Let's now get inside the interior and tell you what it's like on the inside. Inside the Toyota Fortuner Legender, there was a bit of change when we saw this variant for the first time. You got some soft touch plastics here, and there was a bit of addition of soft touch plastic somewhere else. Rest of the things remain the same. While the plastic is good and not great at this price point, the steering wheel is very old. You don't get a screen here when it comes to dials. The screen, which is the infotainment screen, is very small for this segment now. There is in fact a big competition of who has the bigger screen, while Toyota is quietly lacking behind in this interior. The quality could have been, of course, been better. The Gloster is far more superior in that way, which I will show you after this. And you've still got ventilated seats, AC that works really well. You've got a lot of old school buttons here. So, for people who love old school things, this is still great, and that is one of the reasons why it's still doing well. For people who want something new, something modern, well, the Toyota, Legender does not cut the cake anymore for them, and there is a desperate need for an overhaul inside this cabin. Let's go at the back and tell you what the car is like in terms of space. So this seat is pushed all the way back. I still have good knee room, good leg room. I'm sitting a bit high, slightly knees up. Under thigh support is good enough. Backrest is also brilliant because the seat is adjustable in every way. And I can see myself spending some time here because there is a huge glass area. Sadly, still no sunroof on offer. And this cabin sort of feels a little low on width right now when compared to the Gloster. So 3 people can sit here. It's just about okay. It is not even a squeeze. But I think again the Fortuner Legender needs an upgrade for sure. The third row of seats, as you know from my review, is actually quite good. Not that great. But now let's jump inside the Gloster here. Let me just quickly show you first what the cabin looks like at first glance. Just look at that cabin. It looks absolutely futuristic, really high on quality. Look at the door pads here. They've got this quilted effect here with contrast stitching on offer. The soft plastics here are also good. This is soft touch, and getting inside just feels so much more better. You've got a nice screen here with the dial. The screen here is actually quite big. And as you can see, this looks truly futuristic in every way. That screen sort of reminds you of a BMW, and I think that is for the good part, clearly quite ahead of the Toyota Legender here. You've got massage seats as well as ventilated seats, as well as memory seats and power seats. So the seats are truly taken care of, and you've got this very nice gear lever here. These buttons here, again, everything just looks like a premium European SUV that has come to the Indian market. The cup holders, can holders here are a bit, small in size. This space is sort of not that great and not that useful. But look at this here. This glove box is huge, quite big. You can store a lot of stuff there. That is the mirror adjustment. And look at the quality. This exactly feels like a European SUV. Just look at all of this here, done really well. There is a bit of creaking. Build quality is not that impressive, but then again, first look, really impressive. A lot of touches, you'll still be very impressed. The switch gear is all new. Everything feels really nice. The steering looks very sharp. At the same time, it's really nice to hold in any given situation. This screen has all the features that you could look forward to. And you've got ADAS as well, 360-degree parking. Park assist is on offer, so the car will park on its own. The screen, infotainment, fonts, colors, layout is good. The response is slightly so. The touch response is good, but the overall smoothness, it's not that quick. It needs more, hertz to make it, bit more smoother. There is a bit of improvement, but there is no complaining per se. It is still a very good infotainment system. The sound system is brilliant as always with every MG car. You've got some space here as well to keep some things. You've got a lot of charging points here. Overall, a cabin that truly impresses. It is sort of an inspiration from an European SUV, and I think MG's gotten it quite right, because you can't go wrong once you sort of take heavy inspirations from someone. And let's get in the back. Just look at this. This already feels better than the Fortuner in terms of space. Just look at the amount of knee room. Under thigh support is same. It's more, the leg room is more. I'm still sort of sitting knees up, but 50% lower at least from the Legender here. Clearly the widest cabin of the lot, feels really nice. You've got the big bad panoramic sunroof on offer. You've got this very nice diamond effect for the lights. You've got an AC vent right on your face here. So this all is actually quite impressive. You've got an armrest which is very big in size. Cup can holders, at least on the back, are good, unlike the front. And the glass area of course is huge, so there will be a lot of light from the sunroof as well as from the glasses. And you've got your own AC vents here, you've got your charging points here as well, and so that is also really convenient. uh, yeah, you've got some space here as well in the door pads here, and everything just feels high quality. The rear seats I've shown you in my review, they are actually slightly better than the Toyota Legender here. And since we are now back again at the back, let me show you what the boot is like. Both of these cars get electric tailgate, and the Gloster has the faster one, that's for sure. And this is the kind of space you're getting here with the Gloster. You've got a light on that side, and the seats fold out easily with this just one pull here, and it will go down, that's for sure. Something's actually blocking it right now. And coming here, let's check out the boot. Like I told you, the Fortuner has a slightly slower tailgate, but look at the amount of space here. I think both are great in terms of storage space here with all the seats up. So this gives you an idea of how it's like with and without the seat that is on offer. Yeah, I think that's what the interior is all about on both these cars. For a detailed review on the exterior and interior, you can check out the individual reviews. You might have seen that already. Let's jump to the driving part. So what is the Toyota Fortuner and the MG Gloster to drive back to back? Well, let's begin with the Gloster first. We are really impressed with the refinement that is on offer from the engine. There is hardly any noise inside the cabin. And it is very easy to drive because the steering is very easy, very light. I know a few people who drive the Gloster on a daily basis. Once they get hold of the dimensions, once they get a huge amount of parking for this car, they find this car very easy to live with the kind of ease of use that the steering offers, and it is very easy to live with on a daily basis and to ride within the city. With the light steering on offer. With the Fortuner, the steering isn't that light, and it can be inconsistent, and sometimes it feels heavy, even much more heavier than you anticipate it to be at first test drive. Sometimes it is light, sometimes it's quite heavy. You have to constantly keep on checking air pressures, whether it's too high or too low, to make sure that you get a steering that requires as less effort as possible. With the Gloster, that is not a problem at all, and it is the easier car to drive despite the fact that it is bigger in every single dimension. With the Fortuner, when it comes to NVH, of course, it is let down by a very noisy engine. Road noise and wind noise is just about well in check, but it's the Gloster that feels much more luxurious and much more silent when it comes to NVH over the Fortuner. So easy to drive, a much more quieter and smoother cabin is what you get in the Gloster, and that is what the first impression is of a particular customer when he comes in test rides. So that is one of the reasons why Gloster impresses. Secondly, the ride quality on the Gloster, low speed ride quality on the Gloster is much better than the Fortuner. So one quick test drive will also make you realize that the Gloster feels much better at slow to medium speeds, and that is what makes it a very impressive car at first go. And it is the Fortuner where it lacks the very good ride quality that you are supposed to get at low speeds. You don't get that in the Fortuner. High speed stability, high speed ride quality is good on both the cars. They both of them have just about enough vertical movements because of the ladder on frame chassis and the high suspension and the way they are tuned to keep comfort in check largely, and that sort of replicates into high-speed manners where both of them show a good amount of vertical movement. But I think it is the Fortuner that slightly feels better at higher speeds. I don't know how that tune is, but when it doesn't feel that great at low speeds, it is meant to do better at medium to high speeds, and I think that's the reason why the Fortuner does really well in that aspect. When it comes to brakes, the Gloster feels much better. The Fortuner is also good on brakes. The steering, of course, like I told you, the Gloster wins that aspect. When it comes to body roll, Fortuner of course is high on body roll, and so is the Gloster, but for some reason it is the Fortuner that feels much better, much more composed while cornering slightly faster. The Gloster of course feels quite nice, quite predictable, but its body roll could have been well in check. It doesn't feel unsafe or unsecure and doesn't inspire confidence. It's just that there could be a bit more effort in that area, and from the Gloster. Apart from that, like I said, these are the core highlights of how these vehicles drive. The Gloster still has a superior edge when it comes to driving as well, and on the road. And the Fortuner isn't behind, but it's just that the overall experience, that when it comes to NVH, ease of driving, and the ride quality, and the handling, and the body roll, and the feedback, it just doesn't, buck up the points to reach to the higher level where the Gloster is. Where the Fortuner really excels, of course, is dependability, reliability, and the core aspect off-road. Needless to say, the Fortuner does off-road really well, and it is really good at what it does. It can make amateur off-road riders do a lot of stuff, which we also did. And even with mild experience, not that high or not that low, we were able to do a lot of things with the Fortuner. And surprisingly, with the Gloster as well, the Gloster had much bigger wheels and road focused tires and wheels on it, but it still went through a lot. And it is just that the low end response from the engine is much weaker on the Gloster, and that is the reason why it beats a little bit more effort every single time, while the Fortuner just glides over everything, all the potholes and articulations, and the cliffs that you go up and down, no matter how big or small they are. It is just very easy. The Fortuner it is in its element. Meanwhile, the Fortuner, the Gloster though feels good, but it needs a bit of effort to feel good. So I think that is where the Gloster slightly falls behind. The low speed response from the engine is not that great, and that is not so much visible on the road. But while you do off-road, or while you're really stuck in a traffic where you need to close gaps much quickly, you realize that the low end is missing. It's pulling a lot of bulk, and there is turbo lag from the engine. So that is where these cars do well and not so well. On the road, Gloster is brilliant. Mid-range and top end is good. On the Fortuner, everything is great, but the top end is lacking a bit. So that is the reason why the Gloster is a very good vehicle. When it comes to driving, most of the time it feels like it's worth your money, but it isn't entirely flawless. MG needs to work on that aspect. The Fortuner though, in this regard, when it comes to driving, is good enough, but clearly it's just showing its age. When we first rode the Fortuner, we were really impressed. Now when the competition has caught up, and they've really cornered in the Toyota Fortuner, you realize that the Fortuner now needs an update. What is my verdict? Let's find out. So our verdict on the MG Gloster versus the Toyota Fortuner Legendary, what do we think about it? Well, the Toyota Fortuner is reliable as ever. The brand is, the sub-brand within Toyota has proven itself. It's made a mark of its own. Everybody really appreciates the Fortuner in the Legendary avatar, the GRS avatar, and the original Fortuner avatar as well. It's old school, it lacks features, but then again, the low speed ride is better, and the handling is slightly better on the Fortuner, and that is why you would get the Fortuner. If you want something that is truly great on the inside and outside, it's got more presence than the Fortuner. It's got high quality, more technology, more safety, ADAS features on offer very specifically. This makes the MG Gloster a very modern package for an SUV or prospective buyer who's willing to spend 50 lakh rupees, because there is hardly any difference between the price as well now between these two vehicles. The MG Gloster had a sort of advantage earlier, but now it doesn't. But it's still offering great value for money. We are really impressed. We didn't know how we would be impressed with the MG Gloster, but we are. And it's very difficult to pick a winner between the two, because it's something that the Legender does well, it's something that the MG Gloster does well. You know what the differences are right now. And I think if you still have any doubts, put them in the comment section below. Follow us on our website and social media for everyday updates. Until then, goodbye.